No, it was me playing something in the background. I just yeah, I'm just started. You see that link? Yeah, go ahead and hit that. Yeah. No, I'm still here. Okay, what I need you to do is on the phone that I'm on the broadcast on, hit the link. Are you looking at the chat, the live chat? Oh, you're not in the channel yet then. Gotta go in the channel. You going to the live, man, the one that say live. With the red. Okay, now hit that link that's in the chat. I hear you. Yeah, got you.
Got you. All right. So now I get you on both of them now.
Exactly. Cause he went over to sleep.
Oops, hold up, hold up.
What you doing, baby?
Let me get off that.
Hold up,
Hold
brother.
up, brother. It's the first time I get you on both of them.
All right, talk.
All right. I had you on the phone.
All right. We good now. We good.
Copy.
What's good this morning, brother?
Oh man, what can I say? I hear echo.
You hear echo?
Yeah.
Um, you got another phone on,
No, I just turned that off. I just hung up on you.
and you still hear the echo?
Okay, now. All right. Good. I guess it's a delay. I guess you could hit off the satellite.
No, I had this my speaker connected to it and forgot to
Oh,
disconnect it.
okay. All right.
Yeah. So what's going on this morning, man?
Nothing too much, man. Just glad to be alive, man, and glad to see we're still here.
Yeah,
For another day.
yeah. Uh I figure I hit you up this morning because I wanted you to the brother who I was messing with last night, man, he told me something that was kind of eye opening to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about me.
Mm-hmm.
The brother told me that when he was giving his uh, perspective on certain things we was talked about, that I automatically shot him down because I said the source he got it from, was from man-made sources, while he accusing me of getting stuff from man-made sources.
Mm-hmm.
And while I strongly urged that 9 times out of 10 I was telling them the truth, I don't want to convey the truth in that form of fashion to where a person will alienate himself to the point of seeking you out as an enemy because you belittled his intellect, education, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to shoot things down or not agree with something without being insulting. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Without being insulting.
Mm-hmm.
Because the brother actually want to hear what we say, but as we talk, and we're so used to talking the way we talk, we're not looking at the fact that what we're saying is, in fact, belittling the information, even though we may feel that way, even though we may be putting down where they got the information they got, what the information that they have, where they got it from, even though that might be the case.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to convey it to nobody like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be much gentler with my dismissals. You feel what I'm saying?
I feel you. I feel you. But we
And
had this. We
I
had
know,
this conversation before.
yeah.
We had this conversation before.
And I know your stance on it. Your stance is, we're absolutely right, and their information is absolutely flawed. You know what I'm saying? I understand that you feel that way on that, but like what I'm conveying to you now, you understand why I'm saying that, though, right? You feel where I'm coming from.
Well, I feel you where you're coming from, but you have to understand this here. Just like when they came to Jesus, Jesus was strictly the Word of God made flesh. Now, God is the only thing that can do that. And God is the only person that allows that. That's why he said, be careful what you say that comes out of your mouth, because it's spoken in the spiritual realm first. So God took his word, he made it living, he encased it into flesh. And when the Pharisees and the Sadducees tried to always box him in, even Lucifer, when Lucifer tried to box him in, he went back to the things that were written of his father. Now, when we get people that come into the conversation, it amazes me how this so-called book that don't nobody believe in, and you know what I'm talking about. Those who come with, I don't believe in all that. It amazes me how this little book that nobody believes in moves you to such obscenity that it actually embarrasses you and belittles you. See, because you got to understand, it's not us that's belittling anything. It's the word of God that belittles. See, because when Christ was talking to Satan, when Satan was tempting him, he was belittling Satan. He was like, oh, he said, are you crazy? Man should not live by bread alone. Man is going to live by every word that comes out of the mouth of God. And so you got to stop thinking, like I tell people, Jesus is not white. He comes straight up from the ghetto. So he had the attitude with it. Because you got to be gangster to go up against, hold up, the Roman generals. You got to be gangster to go up against the government. And that's who he was fighting. He was always fighting the so-called invitation church leaders, and he was fighting the governors. He was fighting those that were in power, just like we're fighting them now. They were always out, and they was always trying to do what? Kill him. They was always trying to make him look like what? A spectacle. But he kept hitting them with what? The word of truth. Oh no, we got to get rid of him because the words he speak, we know these are not the words that we're trying to convey and teach the rest of the people. See, if that was not so, that means we're not doing our job. If we don't stick to our truth. So when people say, well, talk and don't use the Bible in it, hold up, wait a minute. You lost your mind. Because if you don't believe in this book, don't even worry about it. And if you don't believe in this book, how can you come to me and you tell me to introduce to you proof, but you don't want to go read it? Well, I ain't gonna believe all that. Oh, that's so weird.
But see, that's my point to you. Now you just made a comment, and it was like the comment you made. You said you must have lost your mind. Well, see, I'm trying to remind you that is the case. That these people
They
have
have lost their mind, right? Because if I tell you, this just like if I tell you, look, King Girl, if you take this medicine, it's gonna save your life. Well, I don't want to believe it. You know what? Case scope. I throw my hands up. That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
I just gave you the antidote. That's on you. Ain't nothing else I got to prove to you. Just like when you tell me, when you gave me one of your routes to run and everything else, and once you said what you had to say, you said I ain't got nothing to say about it. I ain't already told you. I ain't already told you what to do this here. So just like you've always told me, hey, you know, Vince, I already gave it to you. I ain't got nothing to say about it, and you did that
Mm-hmm.
plenty of times, and that's being direct, which I appreciate. That's showing, you know what I'm saying? Hey, after I got to say, if you want to hear what I got to say, that's it. Same thing. We've already told you what's gonna save your life. You done already came up to me first because you're the one who did it first. You're
Mm-hmm.
the one who said, hey, brother, go ahead and do this here. I'm like, okay, hey, brother, watching out for brother. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I don't know the game. I don't know what was up. And that's why it was never a problem for me supporting what you wanted to do. I'm like, because he didn't know me. I just got there. All they heard was rumor. And my man put out his hand first. So a lot of people don't know that. You the one who put your hand out first, you know, for friendship. And
Mm-hmm.
really, it was just you being you. Because really, you didn't care if I was going to be a friend of whatever. You just, you know what I'm saying, knew the game, what was going on. So, you extended yours first. I'm like, okay, well, I can't let him outdo me. You know what I'm saying? I got to do something. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as I saw that little crack, I jumped right in real quick. Man, please, I can't let you outdo me. And see,
Mm-hmm.
that's in love. Because what you did was in love. Because you didn't even know. Now that's on a whole new level level.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because we have this love for the word and everything else, after we say what we have to say, and we give you the antidote to the poison that you are in, that you're taking for your life, and you don't want to hear it, because even Christ did this in one particular area, because Christ was there and they had no belief. They said in the word, it's in the book of Matthews, that he did no or less miracles in that region or that section or that part of the land where he was at because of their unbelief. Because when Christ came there, it was like, we don't want you here in our country. We don't want you here over in these parts. Depart from us and take your what? Your teachings with you. And because of that, because they didn't want to hear, and this is what we are in right now. He's like, I'm giving you the antidote for eternal life, and you don't want it. Okay, you don't want it? No problem. That's why he shuts everything down. And you have to understand what is exactly what's going on. When it has to deal with the wedding, how he sent people out, because he said the kingdom of heaven is like, when a bride or bridesmaids or the bridesmaids come and he's having a wedding. He said, I send my messengers out to my people. Come, come, you know what I'm saying? Come and enjoy with me. Come and enjoy, the feast of the wedding. I'm about to get married. Oh, I ain't got time today. Oh, I got this to do. Oh, I don't want to. Just like when Noah was preaching, it's gonna rain. And he preached that for 120 years. Oh, he crazy, he drunk, you know what I'm saying? Oh, he talking about it, his head, ha, 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 we gonna make merry and do all this here. And that's what they kept doing. But he still preaching the word. He still stayed in the line that God told him to. He was still obedient and he believed God, just like Christ, just like we have to. So even after all of these things come after us, that wants to laugh, that wants to play, that gets upset because, like I said, if you don't believe in this word of God, why are you getting upset about it? And if we giving you the antidote for eternal life, and then you turn around and say, well, talk about anything except don't use the Bible in it. Are you crazy? Have you lost your mind? Because Christ never did anything without what support that was behind him. And what was his support? What his father had written down for him. It was the what? The word. He said, in the beginning was what? The word. And the word was with God. And the word was God. Everything was made what? By the word of God. Oh, don't use the word. Excuse me? Don't use the word. How can I not use the word when in the beginning that's all it was the word? So if I don't use the word, then I'm with you and I'm saying that God is a lie. You lost your mind. You really have lost your mind. And but if you are an unbeliever, it shouldn't bother you. If you are an unbeliever, why should you even carry if God gave a child got cancer or whatever else? I told you everything works for the good of God because everything will be done to his glory. Who am I to tell God what to do? Well, God gave him cancer and God did here. Why God do? Why are you worried about it if you don't believe? But when we tell you why things are done, well, I don't want to believe all that. Then it's mute.
Mm-hmm. But see, there's a such thing as being able to say, you know, you spoke on Christ a little bit earlier. You said he had to be gangster, and I know you only use that for the sake of conversation, the sake of pointing out a particular attitude to have, being that you got to go against all odds and things like that. Well, you know, I find that terminology a disloyal, or should I say uh, it's a dis. Uh, it don't explain enough gut to me, because we know gangsters need a whole squad of people. We know gangsters need help, you know, so to speak. And
No,
Jesus,
no, 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 no,
hold
no,
up,
no,
let
no,
me get
I'm
finished.
no, 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 no. I'm
And
gonna cut you
Jesus,
off. I'm gonna
and
cut you. I'm gonna cut
Jesus
you.
needed,
I'm gonna give you an example of a gangster. I'm gonna give you an example of a true gangster,
what's that?
and that's Samson. Now you need to go to the book of Judges. You need to read what Samson did.
I'm
Samson didn't have no army with him. Hold up, wait a minute. Samson didn't have an army with him.
I'm familiar with
Samson went up
Samson.
there. Samson went there, took up the gates of the city, tore them off the hinges. Samson went through, whipped. When they say he did those to the Philistines, he took the jawbone of an ass and whooped tail. He didn't have no army. He was like, how is it that this man who is no more than me or you crush all of these things? Samson was a judge. He was straight up gangster because Samson was in and he was fighting against the Philistines. And the Philistines were the rulers of the Hebrews at that time.
But see, you point out Samson like he did these things because it was organic. In all actuality, he was actually being used as a tool.
Now,
So
however
Sam,
form, no, 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 however form you want to put it in, okay, Samson, what Samson did, it still took gut. You talking about he was a form being used or whatever else.
mm-hmm,
Samson had, you got to understand, Samson was a Nazarite.
mm-hmm.
So the gifts was already given to him. Now, how he used his gift was not, is what God proved because he got with his enemy. As a matter of fact, his first wife, after they did the riddle and everything else, and they played with what you said, he played with my heifer, and y'all found out the riddle, you know, and then he crushed every last one of them who played with his heifer, and then he went right back into his enemy camp again and married an unequally yoked person. And that, well, when after
Hey, you made a mistake and hit mute or knocked your earpiece out or something. You hear me? If you're talking, I can't hear you. Probably got to go out and come back in. Well, like I was saying, when you read the story of Samson, it repeatedly says in the story that the Lord, in capital letters, was using Samson against the Philistines. Why the Philistines? Why the Philistines were the bullies. They were the big boys. They were the giants. So, like you hear the brother talking about what Samson did, everything that Samson did was to benefit those soldiers that would go against those big bullies, just to show you that the power of God supersedes any power, all power. But I understood what he was saying, what he is saying, as far as the individual effort. But let's not mix the definition of gangster up. Gangster is, in fact, what I would classify as coward. Coward. And the majority of the people that get entangled off in being a gangster is being bullied into it. Happen to go to school, walk through a particular area, or live in a particular area, can't really come outside and enjoy yourself unless you get down with a type of power. And in doing so, that's how people get indoctrinated into your games. So there's nothing about it heroic to me. It used to be before I knew any better, but now that I know what I know, and I've seen what I've seen, you see people get in gangs of all sorts. The more sophisticated gangs, the people that run our colleges, the people that run our neighborhoods, the people that run our governments. See, don't ever think that they call states red and blue because it makes sense. They call it red and blue because these are the colors of the lodges. You understand? Red and blue. That was the significance of your Super Bowl. Like my homeboy called it the Great Set Trip. Because just as much as Crip is out there in Los Angeles, the Bloods are too. And look at here, 50-year-old man throwing up gang signs representing gangster stuff, and people still don't feel something wrong. People still think that's normal. Old ass man. And then did you see who the robot, Sophie? See, all this shit is Kabbalah stuff. All of it is Kabbalah. Refer you to another do-rag wearing gangster. And then when you see these gangsters, what you see around them? Nothing but people. Nothing but a whole lot of people. Used to be impressive to me. Of course, I, was responsible for creating my own brotherhood. And I had many people around me. But as time progresses and you get older, you come to find out that the number's not really what they say it is. The numbers will be in your favor 1 second, and those same numbers will work against you in the next second. So, when I see a man, a woman, with a bunch of riders or bandwagon riders around him, I think coward. But that's just me. Talk to me, Mongoose.
All right, sure. I don't get where I really left that. I didn't know I had lost you.
Yeah, oh yeah, man, you've been gone for a while. Um, where you left off at, you were telling me the gangsterism in Samuel. And you go ahead and talk. If you don't hear me respond back, it's because I'm in the kitchen preparing me some coffee.
Right.
Hello?
Here.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Testing, testing. All right. Still hear that echo.
You'll be all right in a second. You're just not getting in here.
All right, copy that.
You got the flow. You got the mic.
That's recording. That's past. That's our past tense. No, you off.
You say what?
I'm still hearing the what we just discussed about a few minutes ago.
Oh,
I'm hearing that recording.
Well, you listening to the wrong thing. You don't want to be listening to nothing. You should just hear me.
No, I hear the recording.
I don't know how you doing that one. Cause you in the studio here with me. I don't understand how you hearing. You got something else open on your phone?
Nope, not that I know of.
I don't even see how that's possible, and I'm live. But you say you
Okay, I
hear
see
me.
you. You talking, and I see you vibrating, right? And I'm talking, and I'm talking with you. We're in the same chat room.
Yeah, but you say you
But I
still
still
hear
hear
something else.
right. I still hear the recording.
Now that's crazy. I don't understand how that's even possible, man. Cause you gotta understand oh, maybe you went backwards on your do you got the face on, do you got it on both phones?
No, the other one's off. I ain't even get that.
I don't, man. I wish I can tell you how you hearing another recording of what we doing right now, but I can't even tell you, dog.
Yeah, I'm not even
But
hearing that,
listen,
man.
I'm not talking, and I don't hear nothing else on this end. So I'm assuming if people listening to us, they ain't gonna hear nothing else either. So just go ahead and shoot from where you left off at. I'm trying to let you get started before I even get up.
Okay, because I'm still listening to the recording and everything else. I think I left off dealing with Samson and how gangster Samson was, and
Yeah.
Samson didn't have an army with him, and how Samson tore off the gates of the Philistines, and
Mm-hmm.
how Samson went by himself and he killed uh the thousand or so Philistines, and how Samson by himself, you know, destroyed and killed more Philistines in the arena of Dagon than he did throughout his whole entire life. One man didn't have an army. One man went up against an army and destroyed them. That's straight up gangster because he was fighting the government. He was fighting the authority. He was fighting the ones that had ruler over his people during that time. So anytime that you are fighting the powers that be, and you are a nuisance and you become that thing that they can't destroy because they couldn't destroy Samson. They couldn't do anything with him, but they had to find out what his weakness was. And his weakness was what? Women. His weakness was his lust. But you have to understand, Samson was a judge. He was a judge of his people. Now, in order for you to understand that, you have to understand what the order was of a judge. And once you understand that anytime that you have authority and power, because that's what was given to him, because before they had a king or anything else, they had judges. And the judges, which is God, because God would judge everyone. So Samson was just a forerunner of what was coming, which was said before the beginning of time, that the lamb was slain before the foundation of the world. And you are going to have a child, and the earth will protect the woman with the child. And that was the prophecy, or the first prophecy, that all the realms ever heard. That's why that put hell in a chaos, because God spoke of their destruction that was coming down to them. So it was always to be expected as to when he was going to come, but they didn't know when or where or who or how.
Mm-hmm.
That's why God held the seed, and he said, I'm going to give you a sign. I'm going to hold the seed, but a virgin shall have a child. And how many times have you heard when you talk in these conversations, oh, I think that's impossible for a virgin to have a baby?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, what? God said it in his word. He wrote it down. He said, I'm doing this here for you. He said, I'm doing it because, do you think that there is anything too hard for God? Now, you have to go to the book of Job. And they say the book of Job proceeds the first 5 books that Moses written. And they said the book of Job is supposed to be the oldest book, if not one of the oldest books in the Bible. Now, because we don't know how many books the whole Bible contains, and they put these 66 books here, and we know there's more than 66, and we know that there are more and there are other books because it's written down. There's a book of Jasher, there's a book of Matthew, there's a book of Baruch, but because people don't feel to read them, there's a book of Enoch. Well, that's on you. That's your limitation. See, but these books, they accompany the basics, which is the Bible, because these books don't take away from the Bible. These books accompany the Bible, and it puts it in stretch fast what the Bible is saying. So when I tell you about the antiquities of the Jews and how Christ descended before he ascended, mm,
Hello?
wait, see, oh, yeah, see, I don't know if I'm listening. I'm listening to the other conversation, because the other conversation, I'm thinking it's you.
I don't know how that's happening, bro. You probably
I,
need to leave out and come back in or something, because
okay,
I
all right.
really don't. I ain't got nothing else open on my
I
computer.
am I am listening to this whole other conversation that we did just 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, leave out and come back in. Make sure
Okay,
everything clear off your phone, because I don't.
all right.
I can't even explain that one. But yeah, see me. Uh, the main reason I stay away from. I mean, me personally, I don't. If somebody tell me explain this without using the Bible, usually I can, because I mean the whole reason I call the populace fools and idiots, because instead of seeing things with our own eyes, instead of using our own God-given understanding, we rather somebody tell us what to see, or tell us what we are seeing, tell us what to think, solve the problem for us. That's what makes the masses fools. That's what makes the masses idiots. You have weapons, tools of your own, and instead of using them, you allow other people to use them.
Testing, testing.
How you sounding now?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't hear none of that.
Man, I wish I could explain that, but That's beyond my knowledge, man.
Echoes from the past.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. If you can remember where you left off at, I didn't get up yet because I was trying to make sure everything was copacetic. But now that we got it good, go ahead. You continue. I interrupt you when I come back. I'm just in the
What's
next.
the last? What's the last thing you remember me singing?
Uh, just start over to where you remember.
Dealing with Samson.
That's where you remember last. Um, you were explaining what I heard you say after that was you was basically explaining when people come and say don't use the Bible with this and that, and you was breaking down everything is how everything is about the Bible.
Right, 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 right.
Well, let me. I'll take you in a direction before I go in this kitchen. Um, People misconstrue a human being fighting and an angel fighting. Um, they actually think that the invisible fights their battles in the same way us humans fight our battles. I think the best way to explain the way a spirit fight would be sound, would be the word. Hence why I came up with that. Um, in the book of Daniel, we were led into a little scenario where we got inside the spiritual world for a brief second. And we were told in Daniel that a certain angel was resisting another angel, and these angels happened to be the names of cities. Or should I say, these angels happen to be protecting cities. So one particular angel, Gabriel, was being resisted by, I think it was the Persian, the angel that watched over Persia, from getting to the archangel Michael. Now, I just want to put that out there for once. I mean, just for you can get an image in your brain. So, and just think of that for a second. Now, let's go to Matthew. We have a being that used to be of the angelic type that was made manifest in the flesh, and he was called God's Word. The world called him Jesus Christ. He fought with Satan. He battled Satan. And you really didn't see it as a battle. You'd seen it as just some words being passed. It wasn't really no, sword fight and punching and stuff like that. But in all actuality, it was much more fierce than any sword fight or punch. And you didn't really understand it for being a battle until you heard Christ say the words, I've conquered the world. See, in that same sequence, Christ was telling us that Satan was the God of this world. So for him to say that, like the brother Mongoose pointed out in an argument a few days ago, that the only way that you can take over somebody's house is if you beat the strong man up inside. Now, once you do that, then you consider victorious. That, in fact, is what Christ did when he resisted the God of this world. It may not have looked like a scratch and tear and pull hair out type of fight, but it was much more vicious than a mere fight. Much more vicious. But we're learning that angels don't fight in a customary fashion as a human being. See, we're less than an angel. We've made out of clay, of dirt. The angels don't have form. So when they fight with what? God's word. There's nothing else to fight with. There's a perversion of the word. Then there's the word absolute, unadulterated. So we have a situation where Michael the archangel got into a scuffle with Satan over the remains of Moses. Now, let me tell you how the scriptures describe this scuffle. Michael said, "May the Father rebuke you." End of scuffle. Go ahead, Mongoose.
Oh, see, that you are most definitely right. See, because this is the matrix. We're in the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he told you, be careful what you say. Because he said, whatever you bound in heaven, you bound on earth. Whatever you loose in what? He didn't say the earth. He said, whatever you loose in heaven will be loose on what? Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he said, when you pray, pray, our Father who art in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on what? Earth, as it is in what?
Mm-hmm.
Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
See now, let thy will be done on earth. That means God's will was not being done on earth because
Mm-hmm.
man sinned. As it is in what? Heaven. Heaven or heavens. Now, heaven in all conclusive because God speaks throughout all the realms, like I said, at the same time, because God occupies all the realms at the same time. So that's why when I say when God speaks throughout all of eternity, because God is all present. He's omnipresent all at the same time. That's when God spoke these words to the realm as what was going to happen. They already knew because what? God said it and what? That settled it. So they already know what was coming. And it amazes me how demons who do not fear man, but they fear God and they believe in Jesus Christ and they know the power of his might, fear and believe in God. And here we are, simple humans who are made in his image because we didn't create ourselves, don't believe in nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what is going to come to those who don't believe. And this is one of the praises that Lucifer will never ever let go. He's not going to let you survive in his realm, in his kingdom. When he gets here with his antichrist to take over, he's not going to let you walk this earth and not believe in him. Because for you not to believe in him, that means you don't respect him. That means you don't honor him. That means you don't praise him. It's because it's like, why should I bow down and worship you? I don't believe in you. He's not going to go for that. So
Mm-hmm.
what you think is going to happen to these people who keep talking about they don't believe in God and they don't believe them? Because he will have that free reign. Do you know what he's going to do to them?
Mm.
Because he said Satan will be let what? Will be let loose. Do you know how powerful that word means? Satan will be let loose. That means he won't have no restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
So you think you can operate on this world, in his world, and you not gonna believe in him?
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about, you already know about the word narcissism, right? Do
Mm-hmm.
you think Satan is a narcissist?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's the embodiment.
Right.
He's the
And you
personification.
right. And you think you're gonna walk on this earth in this world?
You think you gonna get all type of success and fame in this world,
Right.
and you're
Right,
not gonna kiss my ass.
right,
How,
right, right,
how is it even possible?
right.
That's
See
what I
what he said?
always, I got several associates or ex-associates that
Mm,
was talking about opening a business for years.
mm,
And I was with the idea.
right.
And then I thought about it, bro. I said, what if they gonna be really successful at this business? Maybe I should warn them about what they got to look out for.
Right, right,
Because you
right,
cannot have
right.
success in this world
Without
without
paying,
bowing down.
without bowing down. Right.
Now listen, you may get it at first,
Mm-hmm,
but when
mm-hmm.
you get to a certain plateau,
Oh man, you got to pay, babe.
when you get to a certain digit number, now you got to
Hey,
find
hey,
out who
hey,
really
hey,
runs
hey,
this joint.
hey, I like your daughter over there. Hey, I like your
Mm-hmm.
son. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
bring him on over here. Let's see how you look in this skirt. You know what I'm saying?
And look,
Uh,
they
let,
always get you they always come to you and let you know where you're at when you
right,
get
right,
to a certain money bracket and think you're
right,
above the law.
right, right, right. Uh,
You think the police is your best friend because you give
right,
to the officers foundation and stuff like that. That's when they let you know where you really at.
right. And see, then you go to selling your soul to keep that pain
Yep, yep,
and
yep.
everything else. And see,
Yes, sir.
that's where people keep missing out on everything. That's why I keep saying it's important for you to know the cares of the world. Because according to Christ, when Peter asked him, will thou now establish us our kingdom or return to us the glory that we formerly had? And what did Christ say? He said, my kingdom is not of what? This world.
Mm-hmm.
This world is of what? Lucifer, is of Satan, of the prince and the power of the air. So if he said, I'm not going to restore you here, then why
Mm-hmm.
do we have people over here in the so-called Middle East
Mm-hmm.
getting ready, gearing up, arming up? You got people from the Ukraine. We stand with Ukraine and we got battles and tanks moving in. Hold up. The real Hebrews who are here in America, we don't have no army. Matter of fact, we still don't even have a home. We still don't even know where we come from. And this is the question I put, and I think I put it to you. If not, I think I put it somewhere else. So I'm probably not speaking to somebody else. If all of these so-called Jews who are here in America, if that land over there in Palestine that you call Israel returning in with the Wailing Wall, if that is the real land of Israel, again, what tribe are you from?
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, why are you here in America? Because if y'all having all that trouble over there in this land y'all call Israel, and y'all got Iran, Iraq, and all these here Arabs coming up against y'all, why are you here in America and you're not over there defending your homeland?
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Mm-hmm.
question.
That
How
should
come?
be like scratching the itch on your back.
Exactly.
You know.
All y'all Jews are still here. Now, I said, tell me what tribe are you from? Now, you can't tell me what tribe are you from. I mean, because the 12 tribes, which one are you from? But the only thing you see are what? People that are coming from what? Russia and the what? The UK.
Mm-hmm.
Jews, right? Hold up,
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute. The Ethiopian Jews, he kicked out of the country. Wait a minute. I thought all Jews had the right to return. Isn't that what y'all said?
Mm-hmm.
All Jews have the right to return. How come you kicked the Ethiopian Jews out? They're not Ethiopian? They're not Jewish? Did not Bathsheba get with what? Who? Solomon? And have children by? I mean, I'm confused. But here you have all these economic powers of Ukraine, got guns and weapons and everything else, but they supposed to be the children of Israel. You got these people over here in this fake land called Palestine, fake land called Israel. They got weapons, bombs and everything. And Christ clearly said to Peter, my kingdom is not of this world. Therefore, you're not supposed to be in an economic power. He said, I will come and I will bring you back into the land. That's in the book of Job.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they keep skipping over that book? Oh, well, we're going to have a rapture. We're going to be raptured up out of here. Hold up, wait a minute. Because according to my Bible, he said, I'm going to gather you all together in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which I think is the Afghanistan, because no country has conquered Afghanistan. Afghanistan is known to be the graveyard of nations because it's so hilly, so mountainous. You know, you can't conquer Afghanistan on no one thing. You can be up top. Russia went in there, tried to conquer Afghanistan, couldn't do it. United States
Mm-hmm.
went there for 20 years, couldn't conquer it. You see what I'm saying? All are failed attempts. I mean, I may be wrong. I'm just saying, from what I see, because the only nation that they have not conquered, which is known to be the graveyard of the nations, is Afghanistan. Because Afghanistan, if you look at it, is a valley. You can't conquer it. You feel me? The
Mm-hmm.
coordination with that, right? So if I'm gonna gather you together in the land of Jehoshaphat, in the valley of Jehoshaphat, and he said, I'm gonna plead for my people. And I'm gonna ask you, what would you give me because you sold my son as a harlot, and you gave my daughters away as is word for a lace for a price, as it was for a lace of shoes. Now, what does that detail? Because you already know women love shoes. They love Jordans and stuff like that. They love laces. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Bible is just too deep. I mean, it cuts real quick, don't it?
Oh yeah.
It cuts real quick. But if you don't have that eye, that spiritual eye to read through and know what he's talking about, you know, that's why a lot of things go by. But you can only find that when you learn that there's other information out there that the devil don't even want you to read and to hear about. That's why you come up against it. So you have to understand why God said what he said. You have to understand what happened. Why when Christ came down and when he died, and why he went down, why he went to hell first. Now, hell, everybody said, well, he went to hell. Well, what is hell first? If he went to hell, he went to the underworld. So if he went to another world, that means he went into what? Another dimension. And he went into a dimension where the fallen angels who came down to fight, and you got to go all the way back to Genesis chapter 6 of the fallen angels. Well, the Bible said when Christ rose, he did what first? He led what? The captives free. So that means you got to go all the way back to the book of Genesis, because when the angels came down and the battle was fought, there were some angels that they took captive. And not only that, paradise was there, or Abraham's bosom was there, and it occupied the space. That's why when the Bible,
You hit your mute button.
I'm sorry, that's why when the Bible said that when the rich man died, he lifted up his eyes, he was in hell, he was in torment, he was in flames, and he looked afar off, and he saw Lazarus in Abraham's bosom. And he said, Father Abraham, he said, send Lazarus over here. Let him dip his, finger into, some water to come over here to cool my burning tongue. He said, because I'm tormented in these flames. And Abraham said, of the soul, during your time you had good and he had bad, but now you are tormented and he is comfortable. Then he said, well, forget all that. Send somebody back from the dead and everything else. And now, notice, here's the key part. Check this out. He said, and this is Abraham, he said, they have Moses and the other prophets. to tell them. And if they don't believe them, how would they believe somebody from the dead? So this was a story that was told by Jesus Christ that happened during the time of Moses. Ain't that deep? If you
Now,
listen to the words,
where you get that from?
that's in the new book. That's in that should be in Matthew. When the
You
rich man
talking
went to
about Mark?
yeah, that should be Mark. Yeah, when the rich man died, he told me, I'm gonna build my house and I'm gonna build these barns and everything else. And I'm gonna tear down what I have and I'm gonna build up more. And God said, "Thou fool," He said, "This night your soul will be inquired into your hand."
Hmm.
Read it word for word.
Oh, I know. I'm aware of the
Right. So 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 when he went, because he had to descend. Now, why did he have to descend? And he descended because he was the word of God. He was all conclusive. He was the power pack. And hell was in an uproar because they have already conspired along with Beelzebub, because Beelzebub is the chief demon over the realm, along with Satan, along with Lucifer, because these are all inconclusive. Along with the fallen angels, because the fallen angels are put into a separate dimension, just as Azazel, because Azazel is the one that's in prison who's turned upside down. He's the Baphomet. He's the one that's part goat, part supplantor, part female, part man. He's all these different parts, and he has no sex. He has no gender. And he taught men how to make weapons of war. So when you see the weapons of war that come up, that comes from Azazel. That's why they take the sins, because man kills with their weapons, and they also use your weapons as words. Your words as a weapon. You see, that'll kill also. And they took the sins, and in the book of Leviticus, I believe it's in the 14th chapter, when he told Moses, "Get you Aaron, have Aaron take up 2 goats, one for me and one for Azazel, and have Aaron take all the sins of his house and all of the camps, and put all of the sins on the." He said, have him cast lots. Cast lots, one for 2 goats, one for Azazel. He said, one for me. The God put him first. One for me and one for Azazel. And he said, put all of the sins of his house and all of the camp or all the company or all of the host. Put that on that goat and send that goat out into the wilderness. And see, now you have to understand why he did that. And that goes all the way back to the Tower of Babylon.
Okay,
Why
now
that?
where will I find that at?
What?
What you was just talking about?
For Azazel, that should be in the book of Leviticus. That should be, I think, about the third. That should be like the 13th or the 14th chapter of Leviticus.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Because now with all this new translation and everything else, they changed the wording out of it. So you have to get you like an old Bible that doesn't have all these new translations and everything else. Because even now, you already heard what Zane was going to say in China. They were like, China is rewriting the Bible, and they're trying to say, Jesus Christ is a sinner. Did you hear that?
They trying to say Jesus Christ was what?
A sinner.
Oh man.
You didn't hear that? Oh man, that's been all over the news.
It don't surprise me.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But everything that the Bible is talking about, that's what I'm saying. Is up now. It's present. It's in your face.
See, the devil got a way of laughing in the unbeliever's face.
Right.
Now, watch how many of the unbelievers don't believe the Bible, but believe that.
Exactly. So if you don't believe the Bible, how you gonna believe that?
Now you
So
said
that,
that's around the 13th chapter.
yeah, about 13th, 14th chapter, I think, of Leviticus.
Let's see.
So look at 13, 14, 15. Because if you read the book of Leviticus, let me tell you what the book of Leviticus is about. The book of Leviticus is about the order that we are supposed to live in.
You talking about the order that the tribe of Israel supposed to live in?
Okay, now if you want to keep going back and forth and stepping with that, okay, then
Yeah,
that's for you. Okay,
because everybody wasn't of the tribe of Israel. That's just a known fact.
those are strangers that were among them. That's what he's talking about.
Now the
Okay,
strangers that were
among them,
among the
right?
Israelites benefited from the belief of the Israelite as well.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So, like I said, you have to put a color on it. And if you don't put a color on it, then you really won't even know what he's talking about. Because you think that he's not talking to you, and he's exactly talking to you. It's up there and it's in your face. But because people got different beliefs and they don't want to put a color on it, because in order for you to see any type of blood splatter, you have to get an ultraviolet light. An ultraviolet light is black. And when you shine that ultraviolet light on that blood lights up. That's because we come from our maker. So if you ever want to see anything clearly, you got to put it in the dark. And it has to be magnified. That's why when you put it in the dark, you see what glowing. Because you get to see things.
Are
When it's
you
in that
speaking
ultraviolet light.
when you talk about Leviticus? Are you speaking on the cleansing of the leprosy?
Read the whole thing of the book of Leviticus. Leviticus talks about the whole order. You find the one when he told Moses to get you two goats. I think that's around the 14th chapter. If not, you read it between 13, 14, and 15. But it depends on what Bible you have also.
Well, I got the best Bible in the world. You understand? The
I mean, I
best
don't know
in the
which one
world.
that is. Now, I heard, but I don't know which one that
Oh
is.
yeah, they all
Because
through my house.
I mean,
The best in the
cause,
world, best translation out there
does it have the apocrypha?
for many years.
Does it have the apocrypha with it?
It most certainly don't.
Okay. Does it have the book of
It
Enoch
most
in it?
certainly don't.
Does it have the book of Enoch in it? Hey,
Now,
hold up,
you
man.
speaking on
I gotta put you on hold. I gotta go use the bathroom, man.
okay, take your time.
All right. Let me put you on hold.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna let him. I don't think he got me on hold, brother. I still hear you moving. Yeah, I'm gonna let him pinpoint that for us. You understand? Because there's a couple other things I want to talk to him about too, referring to that. And I want to talk about this war thing with him. What's up, though, young star? I want to talk about this war thing a little bit. I see people involving themselves in this thing, and like a fifth grade teacher told me long ago, every war is a world war because you really got to pick a side. What I'm telling y'all is, yes, there's really going to be lives lost. There's really going to be bloodshed. But it ain't got nothing to do with what they telling you it is on TV and in these airwaves. I'm trying to convey to you that it's puppet theater. Okay? Take it how you want to take it. So be it. Puppet theater. They know a lot of people is about to come up into money. They about to hike everything up. They have already created the food shortages. It's already here. And if it really don't exist, they have their fellow gang members all over the country taking pictures of store shelves and freezers before they get stocked up and saying, hey, this is the reality now. So if it ain't organic, then there's some people working to make it look that way. What is organic is them holding the trucks up from making their deliveries. A lot of those trucks being produce and, things of that nature. They've already had one of their key puppeteers come out and say, oh, there's going to be a new pandemic. He's seeing it somewhere in the computer software that it's going to be a pandemic in the future. Nobody's giving a damn about him being one of the main money makers with the V's that come out with the venom that they give out to so-called prevent you from doing it. Or should I say catching it? Nobody's understanding all these cases of people that had it, got the venom and got it again. Everybody just want to hear what they want to hear when they want to hear it. I seen a little sketch earlier where the dudes was pulling up at the drive-thru, going through the drive-thru and telling the person who's answering the intercom what they want out of church. Can't remember where I seen it at. I'm gonna get it for y'all, but it was quite funny and it was quite telling. What the dude said, he pulled up to the intercom. He say, who preaching it? She say, can I help you? He say, who preaching today? She say, Pastor such and such, something that didn't sound black. And dude say, no, I'm straight. I'm he about to pull off. She said, oh, no. I mean, Pastor Johnson. So he pulled back like, oh, yeah. I'll take that. And he say, I don't want no Old Testament stuff today. I want just New Testament. She's like, yeah, of course, we can do it that way. And he said, I want to feel good. I'm just describing this stuff, y'all, because it was funny, but it's like people don't want the truth. They want what they want. Like they want what they want. And then when you don't give them what they want, they're mad. They're upset. Now, understand that the Bible preaches and talks about this attitude in the last days. That's a narcissistic personality. That's a narcissistic attitude. Who is the author of this? Satan. Y'all know how many things that I still have trouble with accepting in the scriptures? Because I haven't figured out the wisdom behind it. But as time progressed, it's like, man, how didn't you get that? How didn't you understand that? How didn't you peep that out? Like it took you all these years to understand what that means. And it's like describing when you're young and you get caught doing something you ain't got no business doing. When your mama, I can't say mama and daddy. I wasn't privileged like my kids were. Mama whooping that back. You don't love your mama at that point. You hate your mama. The most cruel thing in the world you hope happen to your mama so she can stop putting her hands on you. So understand that from a parent perspective. I didn't understand that back then. But as I got older and I seen the hearts of men, and when I say the hearts of men, I'm talking about men and women, girls and boys. When I seen what type of line have to be drawn in the sand, then I understood the ass whooping. Then I understood something I didn't agree with in the scriptures when it said, don't spare the rod. See, I didn't understand what that meant. I didn't agree with that because some people you don't have to spare the rod, but a lot more people you do have to be free-hearted with that rod. Everybody is not the same. Some people, some kids you can communicate with and everything's hunky-dory. But some kids just don't get it. And I was not that I just was, I've always been a hard-headed SOB. So when I had children and I seen those same attitudes, I had to take a step back. Okay, here go my chance to prove the Bible wrong. And let me tell you like this. I ain't won yet. You back yet, Mongoose? If you back, I can't hear you yet, but I'll continue. This world has been united for a very long time, guys. Do you actually think that a person like Albert Pike can write 200 years ago that these wars had to take place? And you think just one player on the chessboard is going to participate when he's the only person that believes this? Or do you believe all of these people know the game, know what role they got to play, and is doing so? Now, if you living in a big mansion and you got all these fancy cars, yachts, helicopters, all that, and somebody came to you and said, if you don't participate in this act with us, we're going to take everything you have. You're going to say, well, I got guns. And they're going to say, well, I got nuclear ones. What are you going to do? You're going to participate. All of these lands are united. All of them are a part of the brotherhood. See, if you don't know the language, you will never see the countless pictures they take to let you know with their hand signs who they are with their gestures. This is how they communicate to say, we're together. We're in the brotherhood. We're one. And you people think gonna keep on thinking that it's only game bangers in the streets that do this stuff. You're not seeing these countless pictures of these same hand signs. You're not asking the question, what is that? I keep on seeing that. Only recently people start really paying attention to the one-eyed symbolism. Either they pretend not to see it so they can stay asleep, or they're just blind. Either way, it's not good. It's not good. So just to protect your sanity, just so you won't feel embarrassed with your own thinking, you're just going to accept being walked on and played on. Just so you won't be at war. See, I've been at war. I've been at war. Y'all anticipating one? I've been at war. And if you want to get petty, this country been at war. Why all of a sudden they want to say that you got something to do with what's going on the other side of the world? I thought that was the case with Afghanistan. I thought that was the case with Iraq. But it's going to affect here for whatever reason. At the same time, y'all holding trucks up from crossing the border. See, everything that's being played out has been played out in the Illuminati card game that was created in 1995. All the cards been played, or should I say it being played. Some cards we did already, and some cards we ain't even got to yet. But they got the pandemic card, they got the Donald Trump card, enough is enough. Well, what other cards they had? They had a few other cards. You back, Mongoose? Yep, I hear some sound. Mm-hmm. But they playing in your face, laughing at you. And especially the ones that claim they don't believe in nothing. Ooh, they laugh at y'all so hard. See, you're more repulsive to them than I am. The Bible thumper. See, they call the masses goyim or beast or cattle because they need people to think for them.
All right,
so
I'm
when
back.
you don't think for yourself, they really dislike you. They really hate you. Hey there, brother. You all right? You got what you need done, brother?
Oh man, well, I can't use that in conventional way. I got to go through doors.
Oh yeah. I'm saying you good now, right? You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Well, listen, I was just speaking on this war thing. What's your thoughts on this? I'm sure we're gonna disagree about a few things.
What on the war we're in now?
Yeah. No, the war that's supposed to be they talking about on the news. The Ukraine thing.
Remember that's what I was expounding upon.
Okay, I want you to expound upon it this morning. Come on.
I'll still continually expounded upon that. How can, like I said, these be the real Jews that are here in America, and that being the real land of Israel over there?
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember.
Right. When God said, I'm not, my kingdom is not of this world. And again, why are all Jews still here in the United States? And if they get that all the trouble that's over there in that homeland, as they so called it, why are you not over there? And again, if they're calling for all Jews the right to return, why are y'all not returning over there in Palestine? And y'all say that's your real land. But you see all of these Jews coming from what? The Ukraine. What happened to the Ethiopian Jews, like I expounded upon earlier? If you talked about Israel has a right to return where? So does Israel have a right to exist? That Israel? No, it doesn't have a right to exist where? Because you said it's supposed to exist.
Yeah.
Because these are the same people. Listen, you gonna follow me?
Mm-hmm.
These are the same people that Hitler were killing, that took control of the central banking system. Now, where is Putin and the rest of them getting the money? Let me tell you what happened 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Putin had his $100 million yacht moved out from Germany, and he had it moved to an undisclosed location. I hear things like that. I listen to things like that. He's
Mm-hmm.
moving this money. Now, you say, okay, well, what's that have to do with anything?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you got to understand that's an asset. You got you don't even know what $100 million look like.
Hell no.
You see what I'm saying? So he took an asset. So that's something that you know that's here that you can see. You see what I'm saying? So he got $100 million yacht, which is a cruise ship that belongs to him or to his government, however you want to put it. And they had that move, and it was in repair. It was in repair. As a matter of fact, they said it was being modified because they was having another debt put on it. And he said Putin abruptly took it out from Germany, where it was
Mm-hmm.
being reconstructed and everything. So when that was said, okay, he's moving assets. So that means you moving assets. That means you moving something to be stored because you know what's coming next. The only people that don't move any type of assets is those who don't have none. And that's us. We ain't got none. But if you want to know what's going on, watch how they move. Okay, why would he move that? And a few weeks later, now you got all this here commotion that came up. Now, I said that on other channels and everything else. Oh, man, you know what you're talking about, man. You don't know what's going on, man. Oh, man, that's just what they want you to hear. No problem. I already told you what was coming. And look and lo and behold, like I told you, my people have been preaching that stuff for years, especially all the way up to 2020 when Donald Trump shut the system down. I just didn't know, like I said, I told you, we just didn't know the whole world was going to be shut down. We just thought it was going to just be here in America. No, it was the whole world that shut down and collapsed it. Collapsed it. As it came back up, here comes the second wave. Because now I'm coming after all your financial systems. I'm coming at all your banking systems. So when the system does come back up, we'll have this here, what I say that you have. You feel me? That's what cryptocurrency is about. Cryptocurrency is you will have what I say you will have. As a matter of fact, that's why Biden said, okay, well, we're going to give all you people crack pipes. And we're going to give it for economic development and to ease tensions. Are you for real? Are you that much insane? I mean, are you smoking dope yourself? No, he ain't smoking dope. He's talking truth. But the thing is, when he does it and they do the things, you don't believe they're doing it. That's how null and that's how dull and that's how dumbed down a person has been, especially an unbeliever. An unbeliever is a person that has been dumbed down, who's been indoctrinated. Like you say, you don't believe the Bible, but you believe the stuff they're putting out. Like
No,
I said,
I dig that. Hey, what's up, lady? Still,
yeah,
hey,
you
I
told them
dig that. But
yeah.
look,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm a ride along with that, and point out this. Even the pagans,
Right,
didn't say that it wasn't a God.
right. Even the pagans, right. So unbeliever is a foolish person. That's to say, the fool has said in his heart. So when he say fool, that means like, dog. I mean, like, really?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you are beyond explanation. A fool is something that is beyond explanation. You a fool. You're a fool for yourself. And like I explained to you before, by Satan being such a narcissist, you think you're going to survive in this world. When he's let loose, that you're going to walk around and not believe in him? Man, please. You better look at North Korea. You can't do nothing unless you bow down to Kim Jong-un.
That's what I heard anyway.
Yeah. And they got statues of him and his father everywhere.
I mean, it's. I mean, in all actuality, it's a joke, man. It's the same story,
right?
The regurgitation of the same story.
Yep.
It's them taking both sides like they usually do.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? They
And they
got to
working
make
it, and
sure
they
they
working it. Right.
narrate both
Right.
sides.
Right. And they're working it because they already know the outcome.
They already
And
know the outcome.
right. And see, that's how God is. Remember, Satan wants to emulate God because God has control. He said, I'm Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. He said, I'm the first and the last. He said, I'm sovereign. I do what I want to. How can the clay tell the potter what to do? That's why he sent him down to the potter's house. Down to the potter's house. He said, you see how they shaped and they mold the clay and everything else? You see how they shaped it and being? He said, in the last day, I will do that to my people. I'm going to shape, I'm going to mold you. Then how are you going to tell me? And just go back to the book of Job. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the world? He said, did you even know the breath or the depth of the sea? Who are you to control the Leviathan? From what depths did he come from? He said, where were you when I established the stars? And I gave the rivers they decree. Where were you? So he had to bring that out to Job. And to me, which is a remarkable thing. See, because after that, Job did. What did Job do? Job humbled himself. And he repented. And it was like, well, who am I to even do what? Question God.
And hey, did God get mad at him for questioning him?
No, God didn't get mad at him. But God got upset because God was, because he went into the complaint. And see, this is what you don't know. Before all of that happened, Job was named Joel, and Joel was the king of Uz. And that you can read. I think. Let me see. I think you can read that before the book of Job, or somewhere after the book of Job, or you can read it in the book of Job. It'll depict where he came from. But it was the man of the East, the book of Joel. He changed his name to the book of Job, and Joel was the king. That's why when his other friends came, there were 4 of the kings that came to see him. And see, what Joel did is that he destroyed the temple of Satan. He tore and he took down all the idol gods, and he sent. I'm trying to remember the angel that he sent. I don't know if it was Gabriel or it was Ariel that he sent. Because a lot of people don't hear about Ariel, and they don't know about Ariel. And Ariel is one of the archangels, and Ariel is the one who went and he arrested Azazel, and he put him in chains. Now, I mean, if you can just kind of like think about that you got a celestial being taking a chain and arresting this other being. So that means God has order. So why did God need order, and why did God need these certain angels to go and get these other angels? It's not like, so God had already had a kingdom. It was always a kingdom already set up. That's why they said it was war in heaven. And when God made the earth, he made it, and he didn't make it up in heaven. He made earth to come forth out of the water. Now, this is after the fall of Satan. Because you got to figure out, before Satan fell, there was a kingdom in which he worshiped in, and that was God's kingdom. This is before time. And he was casted into time. And God created the heaven and earth and everything else in this time. That's say in the beginning. In which beginning? In God's beginning? Or in the beginning of time? There's quite a few beginnings. But you just have to understand which beginning. And because God occupied all of these spaces at the same time. In the beginning.
Is this nigga talking to idiot?
And by God talking in all the realms at the same time, in the beginning of this time, of this age, of this stage. Before this happened. Before this here was, this was already. So not being able to like fully grasp and understand that, you know, because we're mortal men and a lot of us can't wrap our minds around a lot of this stuff, you know, because we can't even wrap our minds around how how women think, let alone why we make decisions that we make, you know. But the Bible never said you couldn't question God. It just always said how you would question him. And because you question him, it doesn't make him any difference. He doesn't have to answer you. And if he's going to send you an answer, he has no time limit because God does not operate in time. That's why she can sit there and it seems like for years and 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 years, and it seems like forever before you get an answer or see a result or do whatever else. God has no time with that. Because it's still going to come out the same way what he wants it to be. If it's in his will. Now, if it's not in his will, it's not what he wants, because he knows what's best for us. And if we surrender to him and we let him come in to do what's best for us, because a lot of us keep forgetting all these promises that we make, you know, even when we were little kids and coming up and singing these songs and everything else. That's why he said, be careful what you say out your mouth. He said, because you're going to be taken by the words of your mouth. Just like Job was. Job was taken by the words that came out of his mouth. And that's what God will hold you to. So the wars and stuff that's going on, we're telling people why the war is happening and why you have these things happening. And we're telling people what may happen next. And the first thing that comes up is, well, how do you know this here? Well, how are you going to sit there and read something that man wrote? Okay. Do you think man is going to actually tell you of his doom? Think about it. The white man really going to tell you that I'm doomed? I'm about to die. I'm about to be invaded. I'm about to go into slavery. You think he's going to write a book to tell you that? We've been in slavery for how long? Still is in slavery, right?
When you say we, you saying human or color? You speak on the color thing.
Regardless, okay, if you want to play with words, you play with words. Regardless of whatever you say, you still in slavery. You still in the land of your captivity. You can't move. You can't do anything. As a matter of fact, well, I already know what is coming. When they get to shut this grid down, they get to shut this darkness down, they get to shut these bank accounts down, they're going to show you how much power you have, which is none. Okay, so regardless of whatever you want to say, we're talking about, well, this person or they talk about this here, you are still in the land of your captivity because you don't own nothing. You have no rights to nothing. As a matter of fact, it is still written that the black man, or let me put it this way, it is still written, the Drew Scott decision, I wish you would look that up, that no man can be a citizen of the United States except the white man. And it also is written in the Constitution, in the judgment of the United States Supreme Court, that no black man has any authority that a white man should respect. We are still written down in the court of law here in the United States that we are not human. So whatever you want to say, however you want to holler and talk about, you not this and you're not that, they show you otherwise. That's why they don't respect you. That's why they keep you down. That's why whenever you want to go for a loan, you pay the higher price for everything, because you're not human. That's why when
Okay,
the cops
listen.
come in and they do
Okay,
what they want to do because you're not human. Because
okay. With that same argument, if
Mhm.
they don't respect their own, why would I expect them to respect me? Why would I expect that? They don't respect their own. They call their own white
Well, you
trash.
say, no. They respect their own because they don't treat you like they treat them. They don't give you the same amount of time
Who
that
is
they
they?
give them. They don't give you the same amount of time. Whether you go to court, go to court, whether you pay rent, whether you pay insurance, you are already redlined. You are already
Yeah, I'm not
redlined.
saying the rituals ain't in place. I'm not.
Right,
I'm
right,
not
right, right,
saying things not in place to make you believe that that's a reality. I'm not saying
right,
that.
right, right, right,
Why
right,
wouldn't
right.
they have it set in place? My thing is this: that stuff is only relevant to people that see color. To people that don't see color, everything you just said is irrelevant. And I can
I
tell
tell
you
you,
like this:
it's irrelevant, but you still living in it. So how is it
I
irrelevant
ain't got.
that
I
you
don't
are
have a
still
choice.
right? Exactly, right. So we knowing what we are, let's pretend like we're not. That's what I'm talking about. Let's
I
pretend like
mean,
the reality
no,
that we're living in is not.
but you having that knowledge about you, these papers saying you're not even relevant to even be respected when it comes to as far as respecting what you say. As far as respecting what you say, what does that do for you?
How it make me feel and everything else.
No, I'm saying, do it put you ahead of the game, or do what does that knowledge of knowing that these people think of you that way, what
Oh man,
does it do for you?
that makes me happy. That makes me happy because that means the word of God is ever true. Because He said, "No man will buy you." He said, when you go into your land of your captivity, this is how you're going to know that you're in your land of your captivity." He said, "You're going to be in your land of your captivity," and He said, "These people are not even going to regard young. They're not going to regard anyone that's old. They're not going to regard anybody that is a handicap or anybody that has a stigmatary or anything like that." He said, "These people are going to utterly destroy you." And He
That's
said,
all over the world.
no, He
All over
said,
the world.
okay, you going to let me finish?
China, Indonesia, all over the world.
He
Africa.
said concerning us, when you go back into the land of Egypt the second time, us. But if you're not part of us and you can think you're not part of us, then I'm not talking to you.
No,
Okay. So don't problem. So don't even
I'm
bother with
way
that.
bigger than that. I'm way bigger than the
Right. So
bloodline.
don't even bother with that.
Because if
But
we
I
talk
know,
about
right.
bloodlines
But
and we talk about what's relevant,
I know what is written, and I know what's relevant, and I know what's going on right now. Why do you think
okay,
we can't never come up? Why do you think we can't never come up? Why
who
do you
is
think we
we?
can't never come
What you
up?
mean can't never come up? What
Okay,
you saying?
okay. How is we as black folks or Indians? Because you said that you were Indian. Because like I said, if
No,
you were
I
Indian,
ain't tell you I was nothing.
okay, well,
I
whatever.
ain't tell you I was
Whatever.
nothing. I
You
told you I
claim you
ain't
claim to be
African,
other. You
and
claim
I
to be
told you
other
my
than
great grandparents
right,
are
right.
Indian.
So
That's what
that's
I
what you're
said. I
referring
ain't
to.
tell you
Okay,
I was nothing.
okay. So, but you refer yourself as being not black or not being Hebrew. Am I correct?
I'm
Or just being
none of that stuff.
okay? So, would you supposed to be neutral?
I'm me.
Okay, well, all right. If you want to put into that context, then case closed. Let's move on.
What do I put on my applications? Other.
Let's move on. Okay, no problem. Then let's move on. Let's move on.
Other.
Let's move on. So
I don't
the
see
people,
black. I
right,
don't
right.
listen. All them terms and all that shit was given to y'all for y'all programming.
Okay, ain't no problem. Ain't no problem.
Now your skin is darker than mine, but I can assure you, I can put your skin next to what is black, and I can
Uh-huh.
guarantee you ain't that.
Right. We understand that. We understand that.
In
All right.
fact, black
So
ain't no color. It's a reality. You turn
exactly.
off all the lights, you're gonna get black
Mhm,
in a
mhm.
house.
See, but understand black. When you get that black on, and you can only see things through ultraviolet light because black is ultraviolet.
Okay, black is ultraviolet. We're not human. We're the super people, but we ain't got no control over shit. What does that do for you?
Oh,
What does that say?
oh man, that makes me happy because he said, I will come. And he already foretold it.
But see, you now see the thing is, man, you know, I'm privy and I believe the scriptures like you do, right?
Right.
Now you do know that there was a time where the Israelites were ruling, right?
Exactly, yeah.
You do remember this, right?
Right. He said, that's why he said, I will come. He said,
Okay, so
I will
check
come.
this
He said,
out.
I'm going to restore. So if
So
he said,
check
I'm
this
going to
out.
come, no, hold up. He said, if I'm going to come and I'm going to restore you back, we await for that coming. He said, I'm going to come. He said, ain't nobody else going to come for you.
Okay,
He said,
but
no
let
man
me
will
let
buy
me
you.
finish what I was saying. Now, when they were the world power, when they were what was going on, when they had all these pagan nations shook and scared because of their God, right? What did they do with that? They started worshiping false gods. They started rebelling against the God that brought them away from their captors. So when you talk this us and we, I don't want to be associated with no dumb motherfuckers. They were dumb. They were even dumber when Christ touched down because most of them knew who he was, but they were so set in their ways and used to living how they was living, they ain't want to bow down. You think I want to be associated with dummies and idiots?
And I
And then
inadvertently
you
said,
talk about the Indians with they totem pole worshiping asses. You think I want to be associated with something like that?
the same thing to my boss some years ago before I found out who I was. I was like, I don't think I ever want to be like a Jew. I said, because, they was hard headed. They just never listened. Every time you look around, they was always going back into slavery. No matter what
Hard
God
headed
told
is
them.
an understatement.
Right. And see, that's what he wrote in his word. He said, when he sent Jeremiah out, don't be afraid of their faces. He said, but before I formed you in the womb, I already ordained you a prophet unto the nation. He said, you are going to a stiff-necked generation, a stiff-necked people. He said, the other people will hear you. He said, but these people, he said, these people right here, that's why he has so much of a fight with Moses. Do you know what Moses did? When Moses said, if you destroy these people, blot me out your book, because God was ready to destroy him. He said, I will destroy these people and he said, I'll make children from the rocks and they'll be called the children of Moses. And Moses said, if you do that, they will have you to say that you brought them out of Egypt and you were not able to deliver them into their land. You got to understand, you see, Moses is a forerunner of Jesus Christ. He is supposed to stand in the gaps. That's why when God sees you, he sees the blood. And before they went out of Egypt, the first Exodus, they had to put the blood over the post and everything else. Because when God sees you, he sees you through a veil. And the veil is the blood that was shed, which is what? The remission. The remission is something that's received of sin. See, and see, now this is where grace coming from. And it is what? God's good grace, because God loved us so much, but yet we were hard-headed, stiff-necked. So you being hard-headed, you being stiff-necked, that challenged God. You gonna tell me that you are to a place that you're not gonna do what I tell you to do, but you're gonna continue to provoke me? But he loved us so much because we knew how to praise him. We knew how to humble ourselves when we did. We knew how to come to him. We knew how to cry out to him. That's why he loved David so much. Because even though they would falter, because like I said, I kept trying to understand what made them so righteous. One that made them righteous was Abraham, because Abraham
There
believed.
you go. I
And it
don't know.
fascinated.
I agree with the Abraham part.
Right. He believed. And
Hmm.
what? So you got to understand, after all we've been through, after all the turmoil, the burning and everything else, they were skinning us alive and everything else. They was burying us, burying our cities and everything else. Like, I just got through seeing another documentary, like I was telling you about Lake Lanier, how they had the city down here, and they spread the rumor that two black guys raped a white woman, and they burnt the whole town down and everything else. And they bulldozed it, and they put water. So when you on Lake Lanier, you do your fishing and everything else, you're over a graveyard because all the people are buried up under the sand and everything else where Lake Lanier is. Matter of fact, he said almost any and every river that's here in the South, even in Central Park, are graveyards. Because in Central Park, when they had their own, when the black people had their own city, separate from the Black Wall Street, they bulldozed it, filled it up with sand. They made it a park, or they made it a river, or they made it an expressway. Because you heard about the Black Bottom and how they did the Black Bottom, how they got rid of that, bulldozed everything up under, and brought the I-75 expressway through. So he has been said by other world leaders and everything else, especially by Farrakhan. Uh, the whole United States is a crime scene. You got
Mm.
bodies everywhere here. Indigenous people and non-indigenous people.
Yeah, that's all over the world, man.
That's right, right, right. No,
All
no, but
over
we
the
ain't talking about
world.
all of it. We ain't talking about all of it. We're gonna talk about right here. We gonna know what
Well,
we know about right here.
hey, for these people to still be in power, they had to give a share of blood up.
Exactly. So that's why he's saying, when you see this and you see that they have taken over and everything else, he said, my word, which is what the root of Jesse, is still going to stand. And you don't understand that this whole fight is over you. And who are you? You are his church, his bride. Or you can even take it better, as saying, what is that? The face that launched 1,000 ships. Um, oh man, what was that? Lena of Troy. That's what
Hmm.
Lena of Troy was about. That lost 1,000 ships because he lost his wife to another king, and he lost 1,000 ships over to Troy, and that's where you get the Trojan horse and everything else. Because they thought the Trojan horse, because they couldn't get inside the city of Troy, when they had the Trojan horse and everybody was inside the horse, you know what I'm saying? And when they went to sleep after praising and everything else, it opened up and they came down and they took siege of the city.
Mm. Hmm.
Matter of fact, if you get a chance, when you hang up from me and you get back up, go and look at Troy, the one with what's his name?
Oh, that's
Dang,
one of
what's
my
his name?
staple. That's one of my staple movies. I always check that out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go, yeah. That's what Troy was about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Troy was about. Went over there and did that. Okay. Oh, what? And so now we got a man that's coming back for his bride, and his bride is the church. And he's going to launch 1,000 ships. And when they say when Christ comes, Christ will come with what? 10,000 of his what? Saints. Isn't that what they say? Isn't that what it's written? When he comes back, he's gonna come up with 10,000 of his saints. Because all the stuff you see on these movies and everything else is taken from the Bible.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's taken from the Bible.
Hmm.
So they make these movies and everything else. Mm. But it's 6 o'clock. You didn't have me up for 2 or 3 hours though, and I got to
No,
get up.
just about 1:49.
One for
It's about an hour and 49 minutes. That's
That's
about
been
it.
it. Yeah, well, these boys about to get going. I got to make some moves in about a minute. At least I get it about an hour or so.
Yeah,
Before everybody start crowding in. Because down here,
yeah,
like I said, there's more people down here.
yeah.
It gets hectic down here.
A lot
Um,
warmer than up here.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, it's a lot of people down here, so still, expressway still get crowded, boy.
Oh yeah, man.
You have people just down here in the streets.
Well, look, you go ahead, man. I'm gonna, get up. I gotta take me a little walk or whatnot, and
All right, boss. All right.
get up out of here for a hot second, man. And I'm gonna wrap a taste with you a little later, man. Just wanted to get up and kick it with you, get your views on a few things and everything you did. Say hi to my people out here, let them know I'm still here. You understand. But other than that, appreciate y'all for stopping by. Shout out to my boy
Can you hear
CC.
me?
I can hear you now. I ain't hear you a second ago.
Okay. I appreciate you being here, and glad you remember me.
Oh yeah. You hit the mute button or snatch your mic out. You hear me? Yeah, he'll get back, but appreciate y'all stopping through. Just wanted to wrap a quick taste, kick it with my boy, man. Kicked it with him this week. Just make sure we get that on get that recorded or whatnot. I'll probably be on a little later. It's gonna be nice as hell outside, so I'm
Testing,
probably
testing.
gonna be on that riverfront. Yep, I hear you, brother.
All right. On the riverfront.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm gonna hit
man.
that riverfront up later on.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Take some good pictures, man.
Shit, I'm gonna do I can't do no live out there because I ain't got enough subscribers. But I'm gonna
Oh.
do an upload from out there.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Go out there and wrap a taste, get a nice little view in. You did.
Don't look too close to the water. You might see some evidence come by. Like, oh.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right, right. People
I
don't know
hope it
that.
got some money attached to it so I can report and get paid. You know, hopefully it's something unsolved.
Man, actually, man, we was in a good spot because you wanted some fish, especially some good fish, man. You just went right up there to the riverfront, man.
Mhm.
Just do your thing on over. Uh, I don't know how many people do that now, and I always wanted to do my son that way and everything else, but I just never had the chance to.
Oh, they do
Uh,
it.
I'm talking about
They
my
do it.
sons. Yeah, I just never had a chance to. It is something I always wanted to do. Um,
Oh,
yeah, that's what everybody did. I mean, if you did anything else, if you didn't do nothing else in the summer, at least once in the summer you went fishing.
yeah. I can't count many, but I did get me some fishing days in. It's
Right,
been a long time. It's been at least it's been over 20 years since I fished.
right.
But I did get some in. I
And,
know how
and,
to
and
I
not
know how to man I know how to put
that
that
thing
float
on.
on the hook. Mhm, mhm. Know how to do that much.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's good, man. And not knowing when they were talking about our culture. Because when you fish, when you learn how to fish, or you know how to go and do a catch, you know how to bait and tackle. That goes for a job, men, women. That goes for everything. In other words, if you know the right bait, especially if you're in a hunt for something, and that's
Mm,
how I took it. You know what I'm saying? Personally, as for life, it depends what type of bait you have. And
mhm,
we always out there, being Prince, savoir faire. You know what I'm saying? We always had the best rap, in our heads. That's what we had. Not knowing, this is just, if the girl like this, they like this.
mhm.
Because most of us who were straight, and that's why I say we got it straight, because we did, e- e- especially when it came to homosexuality. When it came to homosexuality, it was just something that we never like really talked about. But we knew the guys that were like real straight. We even knew some that was questionable. We rather didn't really talk about it. But now, that we know what the fight is, and that the fight is spiritual, and they're coming out more aggressive. That if you don't agree with them, then you got to die. Well, wait a minute, where you get that?
Mm-hmm.
We never tell y'all no stuff like that. You did what you did, man. We left you alone. You don't over that. You was doing your thing. We just never had you over.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't try to spend the night at your house or nothing like that. No, we wouldn't go down like that.
Mm-hmm.
See, but now you can see the evilness. Well, if you don't do what I do or believe what I believe and everything else, he didn't want you got to die. You can't have your job. When have we ever told you you couldn't have a job because you were
And
gay?
then do you see the hypocrisy?
Yeah.
At one time they claimed that the so-called Christians used to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
speak on it, they judge it, and turn around and do the exact same thing.
That same thing. And as a matter of fact, as so many people were saying, especially on the podcast and everything else, okay, when have the homosexual community ever helped us in anything? And us not knowing that like I said, the civil rights was all about the gay agenda. Because if they got civil rights up under the gay agenda, then they can come after you as a civil rights act.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they had it. So as soon as they got it up under there, and here introduced Barack Obama, and that's all he did. He put everything up under the civil rights. He got everything lined up, nice, neat, folded, blam, 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 blam. Put it up under there. What did black folks get? Not even a rep. Didn't even get invited to the White House.
Hell
But he got,
no.
yeah, but he got the gay rights agenda passed through. He got everything for all these alphabets. And then when you talk to him, when you look at him on these different other podcasts and everything else, especially when Shapiro was talking about, he was like, he was talking to this so-called transgender,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, I'm transgender and I'm an LGBTQ, I see QT and everything else. He said, "How old are you?" She said, I'm 26. He said, "So why don't you be 60?" It's like, what? No, I'm 26. He said, "No, why don't you be 60?" And she was like, "Well, how can I be 60?" He said, "Exactly. Because how can you tell me you a female, but now you identify yourself as a man or no gender? Then you might as well say you 21. Why can't you be 60?"
Mm.
You know? And then you want me to respect, not to call you a female? You want me to call you questionable or transgender? So do you see how confused you are?
Mm.
And now you are saying that I'm not supposed to address you as what you are because the day you woke up and you said you wanted to be a man or you wanted to be a female. I said, so when I got to use the bathroom, now this is me saying personally. So when I got to use the bathroom and the men's stalls are all filled up, I can go right into a female bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I told this guy that. I said, so how would you feel like your daughter and your wife is in there and this big black man come out and they talking about going to the bathroom with your wife and your daughter? What the hell you no, because today he a female.
See me holding the crotch of my pants like, oh shit.
You see what I'm saying?
And
Today
his
he a female.
wife and girl and child just went
Right,
in.
right. Hey, what's up, baby? You all right?
Excuse me.
All right. How does that make you feel, baby?
Mm-mm-mm.
And so I got into an argument with one of them white boys a bit down here. Well, because I was down here, I got into it with him. But he couldn't say nothing about it. Oh, he was hurt. He was hurt.
So he ain't got no get back from that question.
Man, he couldn't do nothing but hold his mouth up. I was like, don't do that too long. You know how y'all get.
Mm-hmm.
You know how y'all get. Y'all always want to stick something up. And it was just like, Just like this past summer when I was taking pictures out there at the stuff at Southeastern High School out there in the park and all the other stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
I was explaining to the young ladies out there from the other class to be careful not to have their young men go in and get no prostate exam by no doctor. I said because that's rape that the doctors do. And it was looking at me like I was saying just something foreign and out the way. He don't get off on anyway. What kind of stuff? But how'd you go sit and talk something nasty like that? I'm like, you know what? These people don't really understand.
Hey, you went blank. You went blank, Mongoose. Probably hit your mute or pulled your plug out. But yeah, that's how it usually happen, man. You try to reach out and get some sound advice, man. You get chopped up. It's a program, man, and the program is for you to stop doing what you're doing. Follow suit, be under control. Don't be you. You just trying to reach out on the basis of just a forerunner, just something to think about. Trying to help, and here they is trying to chop your damn balls off. Understood. That's just the program, man. That's just the program. You know, Probably didn't like the way you look, the way you sound, it's a number of things wrong, where a person, just hear and see what they want to hear and see. So I have it done to me a lot, and I have it done by people that I grew up with. It's like when I stopped doing certain things in my life, all of a sudden became some type of uh, good boy or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like watching what they say around me, and I'm like, man, what the hell? Nigga, I just stopped thugging. I ain't know, I'm me. I'm still me, nigga. You know? Like, wow. Like what I'm doing, takes some effort. Dude, listen, I actually just do a whole lot less than what I used to do. I just do a whole lot less. That's it. I don't hang out. You got these niggas that ain't got no morals. They fucking this girl, this nigga's wife, and all that shit. And you in a bunch, you in a crowd, a place with these niggas outdoors, and somebody just, man, I'm not with all that. I hang and chill, man. It's with somebody that's down to earth, and we really don't have time to do it. But I hang with people that's pretty much like myself, that think like myself, and we don't have no enemies, none. Not even in our repertoire. But other than that, just don't get shook by what you see on TV. And I'm gonna be honest with you. And I don't care who take it like they take it. That stuff just looks so fake to me. I looked at a couple of them clips of them talking to people over there. The dude there with the camera taking picture of the people getting off the buses. That shit just looks so studio to me. It just them showing the same building getting hit. It's kind of like what they did with 9/11. Kind of like, and ain't nobody still questioning how the building evaporate. How the hell it turned to ash and thin air. I still ain't heard nobody, come with no realistic explanation for that. And y'all seen the same thing I've seen. Them damn buildings crumble and disintegrate. Turn to ash. And what explanation did y'all hear that y'all satisfied about? Because I ain't heard it. That shit looks so studio, y'all. I couldn't even stomach it. I looked at probably about a good 15 minutes of coverage. Oh, they over here, they keeping, and they always got to put the color game in there. They got some Africans trapped over there, holding them hostage over there. I'm like, oh yeah. They got to put the color game in there because too many of us ain't buying it. When you put that color game in there, oh, here they come. You ain't smart enough to spot a fake war. No, I'm just smart enough to know that these people that's supposed to be going to war with each other are in the same brotherhood. I'm just smart enough to know that part. They in the same gang, dog. They throw up the same hand signs. Ain't nothing different. Nothing at all. So it ain't really like pinpointing and knowing the mechanics of what's going on. I just know the puppet masters. Them are just the characters. You talk about Putin, you talk about the dudes that's making like they calling the shots on this, that, and the other. Come on, man. He's a president. He ain't no king. He's an order taker. I mean, we all know. I mean, it's very few, but the very few all know what's really going on. What's really going on? They telling you what's really going on. But as usual, they also gonna tell you where to look, and we gonna look where we instructed to look instead of looking at the whole truth. Sounds like you listen to a lot of conspiracies. Ain't no such thing as conspiracy. Ain't no such thing. Oh well. Oh, hold up. Not really listen to, but I behold a lot of them, and you do too. You just ain't gonna admit it. You doing the same thing. Now, why you asking me a question you guilty of? Why you let man guide you? You do the same thing. You ain't never told me you wrote a book and you came with something ain't none of these other people came with. You ain't never told me that. Because I would read it. I would love to hear something different than the same stuff over and over and over again. I would love it. I entertain it. I would entertain it. But yeah, you boys woke up a little bit too late, man. I would like for y'all to hold me up, but I got to hit a store. I got to take a little walk. Won't you put something together, Slapper? I'll chime in when I get back. You ain't got to rush, though, because, I ain't going to be swift, but put something together. I'll chime in when I get back. You hit me with the questions you had for me the other day. You understand? I would have liked you to come up here this morning. But hell, it's over 2 for me. I got to move before I don't move at all. You did. I got to move before I don't move at all. What you say? You can read outside the Bible? Oh yeah, I do. I do. Yeah, I do read out. I had to. See, I'm a person. I got to read both sides. I got to hear both sides. I can't just take one side. Yeah, we on the same time schedule. We on the same mainframe. 6:30 here too. 6:30 here. But other than that, I'd rather come on your platform and do it anyway since you ran away from mine. No, I'm just joshing you. But I stayed on for a while. You understand? Or CC, you get something going. What the hell I'm talking about? You get something going. I chime in. I should be about an hour, no more than 2. So just do it around that way. I took a nap, man, and then wake up to about 11 o'clock at night. So I'm up. Do you wait so late to go live because you're afraid of convos? Man, I rarely do a live this early. I started off at 4 o'clock in the morning. Hell, I woke Mongoose up. Hell, I put it up there 30 minutes ahead of time. What the fuck you want me to do? The hell? I didn't just go live shit. I I gave it like 30 minutes. No, man, you got your people mixed up. I invite combos. You the ones that run from it. I don't know I ain't got no reasonable hour, dog. Yeah, hey, I'll be knocked out. I don't be up at no 8 a.m., man. I get up early afternoon from going to sleep around that time. But I just thought I'd do something different, man. Shit. If I wouldn't have got in contact with Mongoose, shit, I wouldn't have just went live. I would have just waited, but shit, I could have somebody to talk to, keep me up for a little minute. $4 a.m. No, I ain't say it was reasonable. I said it was a freestyle. It was pre-planned 30 minutes ahead of time. No, I ain't got no twin. You did? I'm solo dolo. You understand? Solo dolo. But, hey, appreciate y'all stopping by, rapping the taste. Put something together. I'll be through there. Barely be up at those hours, King. Shit, I barely be up at these hours. I'll be on my way to bed at these hours, but shit, I ain't going to bed no time soon. I use y'all to help me get back sleepy when I get back from running. But later, y'all. Peace.